Yeah. The day I met an angel, man, it was just kind of a normal day, like pretty ordinary day. My mom and I were going out shopping for a pair of shoes that I was buying. I needed to buy a new pair of shoes for this new job that I was going to. It was grade 11, so this is like 4 years ago. And I needed this new pair of shoes. It was going to be a carpentry job. And so I needed this new pair of boots. Like, you know, those big clunky work boots with the steel toe kind of thing. So we went out to that store. I think it was a weekend, like Saturday or Sunday. And, you know, that summer was starting soon. School, grade 11 was going to be out summer. And so, you know, a good summer job. So we went out to buy these pair of shoes, right? And so we went into the workwear store, and I was trying on these shoes. I'm just trying all these different pairs, you know, and I found one that it was like a perfect fit, perfect shoe, perfect size and everything. And as I was kind of taking it off and trying it on and everything, this guy he kind of like appeared beside me almost, like I didn't really notice him, but then he said something to me and I looked over and he was there. I didn't really notice him before. You know, it's really crazy. It's like he just came into my awareness. He was kind of off to the side, I remember. And he just started saying like, or he asked me, what are you buying those for? And I'm like, oh yeah, I'm starting this new job, you know, in a couple days. I'm just getting the shoes I need. And he was like joyous about that. He was like so happy to hear this stuff and was like almost like celebrating and had a huge smile on his face. And when I looked at his face was like glowing. Like I've never seen this before in like, you know, the ordinary world. His face was like glowing. At the time though, I didn't think anything of it because I was just in this kind of, you know, I was in the moment, so I was just kind of going through the motions and that kind of thing, going through the day, just trying to get a new pair of shoes. But I was in the moment, so I didn't really think anything of this whole interaction as it was going on. But when I look back, a few days after this, or a few weeks, it might have taken me a while to realize this whole interaction was like something, you know, out of the ordinary, out of this world. But like his face was glowing, his eyes too. Like so, they were so vivid and like shining rays of light at me. It was crazy, and they were blue too, like bright, like almost see-through blue. You know, like those Florida Keys or Bahamas water. You know, and he was just like beaming this kind of energy towards me, this kind of loving, you know, supportive energy. And so we were talking. Our conversation was only like 20 seconds. It was just him asking me, why are you buying those shoes? And I explained to him, and then he was like celebrating almost. But in his celebration and everything, I think he was transmitting some sort of energy, like some sort of angelic blessing. He was definitely like not of this world, you know, definitely not just a human incarnation. I think there's definitely angels that can incarnate, you know, for a full human incarnation, but then there's also angels that can materialize and dematerialize, you know, appear and disappear, show up in different forms. And I think this angel, he was, you know, appeared in a human form and then might have disappeared or walked somewhere else or went away. I have a feeling that he wasn't here for like a full incarnation on Earth. But yeah, he showed up. He showed up and I, didn't notice him, but then his presence was obvious, when I think he started talking to me. And so, yeah, looking back, I know that he was blessing me at that time and at that moment. And this time around 2021 or so, it was a big time of like shifting in my life, like a big pivot point in my life. Grade 11, I just kind of gotten into self-improvement, and trying to better myself. And so a lot of things were starting to shift. I was working on trying to, quit porn, stop masturbating, all that sort of stuff. Trying to improve my mental health. I think around that time I quit video games. Like huge things were happening. I just got in my first car. I was just dating the first girl I ever dated. I was just dating her, but we split up, I think, a couple days before this angel visited me and blessed me. And, huge things, right? This girl that I was dating, she essentially like opened up this whole world of emotions for me. Even though we were only dating for like 3 weeks, I don't know if you could even call it dating. Like, all we did was kiss and that kind of thing. We held hands. It was pretty, surface level kind of thing. But it's like, because I was in this numb state, I was depressed for like a while, like most of my childhood. But then around this time, around 2021, when this angel showed up, I started, escaping from this numb state, starting to feel more. And this girl was like pivotal in that. She opened my whole like floodgate of emotions. And so around this time, also my grandfather had passed in like a few months before this meeting. So this was a pivotal time, right? A pivotal time in my life when I was 17, around that time. And so this angel, I think it chose the time when I needed a blessing the most. It chose the time when it could come into my life, come into like a pivotal time in my life, and transmit energies in person. That spirits angels and spirits and all that, they can transmit energies in, multi-dimensional ways, through dreams or downloads, just energetic transmissions. But I think when they come in person and bless you in person, it's that much more powerful because they're right there, So this angel, he showed up and started like transmitting stuff. And similar to the girl who opened up my emotions, to kind of bring me out of that numbness. Then so did this angel that I saw. It's kind of like that whole interaction. It showed me that, I could feel so much more. I could, like, just his energy, right? His energy that he was beaming towards me, it showed me that, whoa, like, there's so much more out there. Just feeling that, like, his presence and his love there in front of me. I'd kind of never had that kind of interaction with anyone. He was just on such a high plane of existence, such a high vibration, such a high level that it was a shock to me. And I didn't feel it at the time, right? This is all realizations I had looking back, like weeks or months later. This angel, he came, and I think he knew that I wouldn't really pick it up right then and there. I wouldn't pick up these things right then and there because I hadn't reached that shift yet. I hadn't reached that level that he was on. But later, through my personal development, spiritual growth and stuff, then I was able to pick up what he was putting down, right? Like, yeah, the energies that he transmitted were just profound. And it's like the things he said weren't really like something that you would expect an angel to say when they come to visit you. But his words were like cryptic almost. I was getting this new pair of boots, right? You could see it as kind of like a metaphor, an analogy. I was getting this new pair of boots, which could be seen as like, okay, I'm starting this new chapter in this pivotal time of my life. I'm starting this new journey. This new pair of boots is kind of like a symbolic new start, right? And so he's like coming there and celebrating this new start, which is super profound. And, you know, I just thought of it as like a normal interaction in the shoe store, in the workwear store. That's what I thought of it at the time. Like, oh yeah, just a nice, really nice guy. But looking back, the energies in that memory, the energies in that scene are just so profound. It's almost like I can close my eyes and tune into that memory in my mind. Tune into the vision of like his face, and I'm just like showered with these beautiful rays of energy from him and from that memory. Yeah. Like he really came at a good time. And also I've heard that like your guides or other forms of, you know, entities, aliens even, can incarnate into like a physical form for some amount of time. And so I'm not exactly sure what kind of entity this was. You know, it could have been a guide, it could have been some sort of angel, an alien, I don't know. But I just know that it was so pure and so high. And so after this angel came and visited, things just kind of went exponential, like my shifts in my life, my personal growth. It kind of went exponentially on the curve, right? I think his blessings, they helped me shift the whole trajectory of my life. And there was, you know, that an angel wouldn't show up if there was no reason to show up. He was obviously showed up for a reason. Like some sort of reason. And I think it was to, you know, inject these energies into my being, at least, and into my consciousness, just so I could get used to these energies, this kind of higher plane of existence and consciousness. It was kind of a transmission of these higher pure energies that I've never really felt before. Like even, you know, any kind of interaction, I had never felt the energies in any interaction that were in the one with him. It's almost like we stepped out of time, like time kind of stopped. We stepped out of time and we were in this bubble. That's how I kind of see it now when I'm looking back, when I'm remembering. It's like on my left, like while I was kind of looking at him on my right. And I remember this like almost like kind of like translucent like sheen on the left. I think there was some sun shining through, but I remember the translucent sheen almost around us. It's like we stepped out of time. Time stopped around us. There was a bubble around us. I think I was asking my mom later, like, do you remember when I met that like profound guy in the store? And she doesn't remember it at all, which is crazy. Like maybe this angel only appeared to me. And during our talk, it's like it was a whole nother dimension, a whole nother world that we were in. And so I think we kind of just, the conversation ended naturally after like 20 or 30 seconds. And I just kind of went back to my shoes, not really thinking anything of it. And then I think like a few seconds later, or like a short time later, I looked up and he was gone. Like it's like he disappeared, or, dematerialized into the ether. He left, he vanished. And this was crazy. But once he left, after this whole interaction finished, I remember feeling this kind of different shift, this different nature in my own energy. Even like the day or two after this meeting, like something happened, something shifted. Some kind of change was granted by this being, this glowing man, right? He just had a black t-shirt, blue jeans. You wouldn't really think anything of him, but when you look closely, it's like, bam, he's glowing like crazy. So after this meeting, things just kind of started to like shift exponentially, like I was saying. Like I finally broke free of adult content, self-touch, all that sort of stuff. And I started making more progress in just my overall mental health. Like I let go of video games. I was slowly working on getting off social media. Stuff was just kind of on an up curve from, the previous decade of my life where I was totally in a numbed out, like zombie. I was like a zombie. I was totally frozen. I couldn't feel anything. But then stuff around 2020, 2021 stuff started to change. And this is when the angel beamed into my life, beamed into my awareness. And this was just such a beautiful thing, such a beautiful meeting. And, I've never felt anything like that interaction. And obviously now, as I'm getting more into spirituality, like I'm kind of noticing those feelings and interactions more as I'm talking to people who are like very spiritual, very evolved, very advanced. Somehow they have that kind of energy as well. But this guy was really just profound. Some sort of angel that came to visit me. And I'm glad I was open to the energy that he was transmitting. I'm glad, even though I didn't notice it at the time, I'm just glad that it happened. I'm just glad that he came to me. I'm really grateful that he came to me because it was so powerful. And I remember it like etched into my mind, this memory. Just the energies there, like they're probably still with me. They probably integrated into my being, integrated into my consciousness. Maybe something in my energy field changed. But yeah, the day I met an angel, crazy stuff.